this film today, I'm going to be unboxing and reviewing a Sony ULT Bluetooth speaker. And here it is in the box. This was £88.95, I believe, from Amazon, down from £112.99. And here it is in the box. It's got quite a bit of weight to it, more so than my existing Anchor Bluetooth speaker does. So this one says Sony ULT Power Sound ULT Field 1, whatever that means. Powerful bass with ULT button. What the heck is ULT? I have no idea. 12-hour battery life, which is what I'm after. It's dustproof and waterproof to IP67, and again, I'm also after that. So I'm wanting a speaker that I can use out and about, wherever I am, whether I'm in the garden, on a beach, chopping wood, whatever. I can actually have a speaker where I don't have to worry too much about it getting damaged. And I've got this because my existing Bluetooth speaker still works, but only when it's plugged in, and that's obviously not convenient when you're out and about. The battery essentially has gone on the other one. It doesn't hold its charge anymore. So I've had the other one for at least 10 years, so it's about time I had an upgrade. So let's have a look in the box. So first of all, I've got number 1, a QR code, number 2, turn it on, do something with it, number 3, connect. So let's see what that QR code actually means. Is it going to be download some junk, or is it going to be something useful? So here's my phone. Oh, it's just the instruction manual, English, I think. And it's a help guide. Download the app Music Center. By using Music Center, you can adjust an equalizer and the sound quality on the speaker. Connect via Bluetooth. Okay, fair enough. I didn't really want to have to do that from my phone. I'm hoping I can do all that from the speaker itself, rather than have to mess about with my phone. So first off, here is the connection, and it's a USB-C type connection from a standard USB plug. And then here's the beast itself. Just going to remove that and then have a look what else is in the box. So there is some kind of paper manual in the box, and then I think the rest of that box is just packaging. I'm guessing is mostly instructions, which I'll just leave for now because I'm a bloke. And let's have a look at the speaker itself. So it looks quite nice and tidy. I'll actually move the placemat that I've got it on because it's black, and therefore the speaker won't contrast as well as what it will on the tablecloth. So we can see what it looks like properly. So this is what it looks like properly, so I'll just give it a spin around. So there are some buttons on the top. So we've got the power button, we've got the Bluetooth connectivity, play, pause, or answer phone, I'm guessing that means, and that's volume down and volume up, and ULT. What the heck is ULT? I need to find out. Okie dokie. So sort of a rubbery hollow ending on each end, and something which my current speaker doesn't have is this, which I guess if you're walking around and carrying it could be quite useful, which is also here. So yeah, so you've got options for using this as a handle, or having it maybe hanging off a handlebar on your bike or something else. So I'm just going to open this up, and that is where the USB charger goes. So I haven't charged this yet, so that's going to be my first thing to do. So I'm going to put the USB-C into that. It's a very, very short cable. It's a bit stingy, I've got to say. I'm not particularly pleased with that. Not that practical. But let's get this plugged in somewhere. Okay, so I'm in my office, and with the USB plugged in, you get this charging light just there, which is currently orange. I wonder if that changes colour when it's fully charged. To point out, I haven't been able to use the wire that came with it because it was too short and it would have left the speaker hanging from that. So I'm actually using one from a Sony camera instead. So I'm just going to leave this here. Yeah, so just keep in mind that the plug that comes with it is rubbish, and apologies for the dirty carpet. So I'm going to leave that there to charge for a little while and then come back to it. So I think essentially until the speaker's charged, there's not too much I can do, but I am going to have a look what ULT stands for, so bear with me. So essentially ULT is just cheesy marketing nonsense. It means ultimate. God. Right, I've had to ask ChatGPT because it wasn't saying anywhere on the Sony site. So let me tell you what ChatGPT says. I need to read this from my screen. So Sony uses ULT as a branding term for a product line that emphasises deep bass, high volume output, powerful sound performances. ULT stands for ultimate, specifically referring to ultimate sound or ultimate bass. God, ultimate, as if. There is no such thing as ultimate. I mean, ultimate, where does, it's like infinity. Where does it end? Anyway, look, that's my rant over. So it's just marketing nonsense. It doesn't stand for anything meaningful. These speakers often feature a ULT button that enhances bass or boosts sound. So it's just kind of like a turbocharge button, essentially. Extra bass, etc. That's all it is. Okay, right. I'll come back to you when the speaker's charged and we'll see how it sounds. Catch you then. Hey folks, it's a couple of hours later and I'm now back. This is charged up. When it had finished charging, the charging light simply went off. That was it. So now I'm going to give it a test. So I'm going to turn it on. Okay. ULT lights up. Marketing. Okay, now the Bluetooth thing is going beep, 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 like it's searching to see if anyone's looking for it. So I'm going to turn on my own Bluetooth on my phone and see how easy it connects. See what it finds around me. And it's found ULT Field 1. So I connect to that. So I don't need an app to do that. Da-da! So it's made a noise. Okay, so this should now be, in theory, connected. So I'm not going to put any music on just yet because YouTube will slap my wrist, and if I play music and it's audible and I don't talk over it, then it's going to say either cut the sound out or your video will not be available in this country, that country, that country and that country, which is what YouTube does. So I'm going to put a podcast on. Hopefully that will circumvent the rules very slightly. So I'm going to put a podcast on about HS2.
To come back and review HS2's business case once again.
So I've just done the volume on my phone.
A Rolls-Royce business case at that
nice
point.
And crisp and clear.
The features that we were
sounds okay
expecting to be added hadn't been added.
Including an
I'll go to max volume. Let's see what happens.
Business travellers' time.
The choices that were being modelled were fed in from a time before people could work as productively on trains as perhaps they can today.
It still sounds crisp and clear.
The widespread use of smartphones, before train
I'm going to press the ULT
laptops.
button.
Exactly.
Is that surprising?
Boom.
It was very surprising.
It made a booming sound.
Even in the early days, this calculation changed how HS2 was seen.
So this
After
is
all,
sorry,
it was called high speed, and the numbers backed up
I'm
that
just
importance.
turning it down.
So speed is where journalists focus.
The volume control on there is quite slow compared to the volume control on my phone. I'm just going to pause the podcast. So it seems that by default ULT is on and you press that button to turn it off. So by default I've got maximum bass and boom, and then when I press that button it turned off. So this has taken 2 hours to charge up, and from what I can see so far it seems to be quite a decent bit of kit. It sounded pretty good. I'll try a bit of music, but I'm probably going to get slapped by YouTube for doing so. But let's see what happens. I'll try and find something that's a bit left field out of my collection. Just bear with me while I go into my music. Okay, I found a track by an artist called Captain Rock, who's no longer with us. Rest in peace, Ron. It's a 1980s electro track, about 83, 84-ish. So electro from the 80s was hip-hop electro, so it's a big, bassy number. It may or may not be detected by the bots, I'm not quite sure, but let's see how it goes. I just want to play a bit of it and see how it sounds through the speaker. Captain Rock. Okay, so a nice big bassy sound. So this is with Ultimate on. Right, I'm going to turn Ultimate off. So, much more subdued with it off. Let's turn it back on. So you've got more bass and more volume and more body to the sound. So I'm quite impressed actually with the sound of that, but you do want it with ultimate on. Sorry, I can't talk over Captain Rock because it's impossible. He's got a really big voice, or he had a really big voice as an MC, like Melly Mel. But essentially, this is better with ultimate on because you've got that bass boost. So I think it does suit electronic music quite well from that perspective. And on the podcast, it also sounded better with the ultimate on. So my initial impressions of this are that it's actually quite a nice piece of kit. It's not too heavily cumbersome. Yes, it's heavier than the existing Bluetooth speaker that I've got, but nothing which is like a pain by any means. This is quite handy for hanging it, so I could easily just hang this, for example, up here, have it on there, and then not have to have it on the desk, and then I can just connect to it, and I can play Captain Rock. Yeah, that's pretty good. So I'm liking it. I'm liking it. I think it's quite good, that, yeah. So my impressions of the speaker are that it is a decent piece of kit. Before I go though, I am going to have a look at the Music Centre app, and it has definitely found it. It says there ULT Field 1 and it on 100% battery, so that has come up straight away. So I've only had to turn the app on for it to say that. If I click on settings and I go to sound, sound effect ULT power sound is on by default, or you can have it off, or there's a custom command just here. And then this is where you can mess around with the graphic equalizer. Okay, I don't feel like I need to or want to do that. Yeah, you've got the equalizer controls there to do that. I actually don't want to muck it up. I think it sounded all right as it was, to be quite honest. So I think I'm happy enough with that. Power option, auto standby. If the device is not in use for approximately 15 minutes, the device turns off, but you can turn that off. And there's also something called stamina, changes to settings that suppress power consumption. Stamina mode is set to off if sound effect is switched. So if ultimate's on, then stamina mode's off, essentially. It says on there. So I'm going to say it's not massively useful to me, the app. And if I didn't have it on there, it wouldn't affect at all how I'm using the speaker, I don't think, whatsoever. It does say though, oh, it's just come up on my phone, speaker update available. So is this a firmware update? Speaker is unavailable while updating. Okay. Connect the speaker to a power supply and charge sufficiently. I've done that. Okay. Oh, so I have to check, right. So I've got to connect it to a power supply to update the firmware. So it knows that I'm not connected to the power supply. Right, so I'm now connected to the power supply. So connect the speaker to a power supply, okay, and okay. And now it says, please wait, downloading the software. So it's going to update the firmware for my speaker, which is not a bad thing. Don't turn the speaker off, and it will take about 10 minutes. Do not close this screen. If the screen is closed, you will be required to start from the beginning. It's now on 1%. Okay, look, I'll come back to you when it's done it. So I'm just coming back to you as it's on 96%. And the speaker is flickering as it's doing this update, so that's something I've only just realised. 99%. Software update has started. Now it takes approximately 1 minute for the update to run. Now it's been downloaded or installed, I'm not sure. Hey folks, I'm back. Now, it hasn't done anything to tell me that it had finished doing what it was doing, but the power lights, oh no, that is on. The ULT light is on. I'm just going to unplug the power. Is the ULT light on? Let me turn the speaker on. So it had switched itself off after it had finished updating, but there was no indication on my phone or on here to say it had done. Now I've turned it back on, it's just flashed up on my phone. Software update complete, version 3300. Look, anyway, obviously I've got to get used to the idiosyncrasies of this little device, but I stand by what I say in that it does feel like and seem like a decent piece of kit. It's got a good sturdiness to it. I haven't tested it outside in windy and dirty conditions yet. It will be tested in that way, but I'm not going to put that in this film. But yeah, it seems pretty good. I still don't think that the software is majorly necessary, although for updating the firmware it's probably quite a good thing. So there you go, Sony ULT Field 1 Bluetooth speaker. It seems pretty decent to me. Okay, catch you later folks.